Hello, welcome back to the Mobile Motorbike Mechanic channel. I'm Steve. Today we're heading off to Leamington Spa to service a Mark 1 Suzuki Bandit. A little bit unusual bike, 28 years old, only got 7,000 miles on the clock, and it's been laid up for the last 8 years. So yeah, carbs are all gummed up on it and what have you. So anyway, we'll see you when we get there. Right folks, so here we are, Mark 1 Bandit, 1996, and it's got, 7,400 miles on the clock, which is next to nothing. Now, this bike was stood for 8 years before the current owner got it. So we took the carburetors off it, we've cleaned those, we've got them in the van, we'll chuck them back on again, and we'll see if we can get it running first, and then we can carry out the service. I don't know if it's going to rain. It's definitely got that feeling about it. Summer, eh? Should be everything to get the back end off. Oh, come on. That's that side. Unfortunately, you've got to take all these plastics off to get the tank off. Oh, these are stiff little beggars. Right. Should be able to remove the rear. Right, like I say, everything's loose on this one already because we've already been in here. And that's off, that's off, that's off. Right, let's get a... We should be able to pop the tank off. Oh, come on. And 3mm Allen key for the other side as well. And here comes the rain. Right, so these are the carburetors off the bike. Like I say, they were completely gummed up. What we've done is, before we started filming, I came here earlier this week, took the carbs off, we've taken them back to base, and we've ultrasonically cleaned them, fitted new float valves, polished up the seats. So we'll get those fitted in and hopefully this thing will start to run. You never know. Let's get it on. your pull cable. So that's going to be into there. This is always good fun trying to get this done. Oh, how fiddly is this? There, that's got it. Forgotten to undo the airbox, haven't I? Yeah, forgotten to undo it. Right. Why is that not going backwards? There should be plenty of room there now, but it's not for some reason. Let's take the lid off, give me some more room. That'll give me the room I need. Lovely. Okay. So now we can get the carbs in, but how much of a pain in the ass is this going to be? Old rubbers. When you're doing this, make sure you don't push the bike off the side stand, because it is possible to do that. Right. Okay, that's those seated. We'll just tighten those clips up. We're just doing these clips up on the inlet rubbers. I'll do this one here. And so that one done. Now I just got to get around and do the last one. Right. Fit the choke cable, pop him back in again. There he is. Just make sure he's working. Lovely. And we just got to tighten up these throttle cables now. Right, check the throttle operation, and as you can see, that's sticking. That's not snapping back. You see the balance screws in there, they're just not returning. So we'll just loosen off that returns cable, because 99% of the time it's the return cable that's too tight. And I am getting very wet. Right, just loosen that off a minute. See if we get a snap. Oh, we're still not getting a snap back. Right. We'll come back to that in a minute. We might just need to get some fuel running through just to loosen up the throttle bodies themselves. Right. Let's get this air filter box back on. Again, if you're pushing forward on the bike, brace yourself against the back of the bike just to make sure it doesn't roll off the side stand. Right, that's looking like it's seated nicely. We'll pop those two screws back in. So we just need to do all the clips up. Summer. Unbelievable this year. It's just been rain, rain, rain. Right, let me get a longer screwdriver to do those two middle clips up. Tidy up a couple of the tubes here. Right, that's it. Carburetor's installed. So what we'll do, we'll chuck some fuel on it. I've just noticed on this air filter, 30th of January 2001 it was last changed, so definitely need to put a new one of them in, but we'll use that for the time being. So yeah, let's connect some fuel, get it on the get the ignition switched on, and we'll go for a start. Right, so we've got some fuel attached. We're gonna have to attach the jump pack because the battery's flat on this one, unfortunately. So let's go for a start. Okay, it's running. It's not running very well, but it's running. And it's revving out. A lot better than it was doing because it wasn't running at all before. So that's good news. Okay, we've had the bike running for a couple of minutes. I've swapped the plugs out, so they're all done. Just going to do the air filter. As we previously noted, that air filter was last done on the 30th of January 2001, which is a long time ago. But anyway, we'll get that swapped out. The other thing I've noticed, I just thought, oh, in the sight glass down here, the bike is completely full of oil. But when the engine's running, that is running around, and it looks, I think, like petrol's got into the engine because of these leaking carbs, because they were seized up. So what I'm going to do, you know, the engine's still relatively cold because I only had it running for a second or two. Looked in there and I thought, oh Christ, hang on a minute, turn it off quick. So I'm actually going to drop the oil before I get the engine warm, which is not the best way of doing things because obviously you want warm oil to all drain out. But I think that oil is contaminated. So I'm going to drop that, we'll get the new air filter in. Like I said, I've already done the plugs. You've seen me do plugs thousands of times before, so there's no need for me to show you how to do plugs. Right, so breaker bar only for undoing. We never use a breaker bar for doing these up. And the reason why we use a breaker bar is because it's nice and easy just to do that. So, let's see what this runs out like. I've got a feeling this is going to be very, very, very thin, which is why I've shut the bike off immediately. Yep, look at that. And it absolutely stinks of fuel. That's the reason why we turned it off. Okay, we'll let that drain down. We'll get the filter off as well, and then we can get some fresh stuff in it. Just whilst that oil's draining out, we'll get a brand new high flow filter in. Oh, can't undo it. My hands are all slippery from that oil. Oh, can't find my way out of the paper bag. There it is. So, brand new air filter in place. We'll get that cover on as well. I don't know if you can see in here, there's two tabs at the bottom of the airbox cover, and they've just got to locate in before the airbox clips in, just like that. Yeah, that's on tight. Not surprising if it hasn't been changed since 2001. Can't get the bloody thing off now. No, it still won't come undone. The knobbing thing. I just can't get my hand in to undo it. Gotcha. And as expected, more very, very, very thin oil. Right, nice shiny new high flow filter going on. And as usual, once it seats, we just want to get one turn on it. Right, so oil's stopped dripping out. We've changed the filter. time to fit the sump plug. One thing that a lot of people miss is on these Bandits, the crush washer on the bottom, it does look like it's part of the sump plug, so you quite often see multiple crush washers on top of crush washers, so you've got to get that one off really and then fit a nice new one. This is all the oil out the bike. According to the crankcase we should have 3,300 ml, just under 3.5 litres. I'm going to say there's probably near 4 or maybe even a little bit more than that in here. So this is an old 4 litre container. Let's see how let's see how much oil is in it, or what was in it. Right, ready to come back again, so I've got my jacket on. That one's completely full, and that one's got 2.5 litres in it, so 6.5 litres of oily whatever in that bike. So taking all that out, that's all gone, and as you can see, back on the full mark, brand new 1040 in there with a brand new filter. So let's give it a start. We've still got the battery pack connected because flat battery, but come on, let's see what happens. That's sounding a lot better. So we've got new oil and filter, new plugs, new air filter on this one. Just going to balance the carbs, get the tank and the seat unit back on it, and we'll call this one done. Carbs aren't bad at all actually. That's it, done. Right. Carb's done. Right, that's that sorted. Get the tank back on, get the seat on. Connect the fuel tap before we forget. Just trying to get this clip onto the fuel line. It's a bit of a bugger. Yeah. Having the right gear helps. Now in fitting these tail units, we've got to get all these bits lined up. Can be a bit of an awkward thing to do. And then it clips into the tank, clips in there. Once you've done up all the plugs, remember to reconnect your rear light. And we'll just check to make sure that's working. It is not working. We've got brakes, but we don't have a tail light. So no tail light. Oh, there we go. I've got a tail light now, and we've got a brake light. So the brakes are working. Must have been just a dodgy connection. And down comes the rain again. Summer. Yep, that's working now. And we've got a brake light. Cool. Last two screws. Keys are in it. Let's go for a start. Beautiful. Right folks, that's this one done. So yeah, bit of a challenge in the weather, but it is what it is. So anyway, remember to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you again on the next video.